And we are back, and we just finished watching 2010's Animal Kingdom, rated R, with a runtime of 1 hour and 53 minutes. This is currently streaming on Max and comes to us from writer-director David Michôd. This is the story of young Jay. Is it Jay?
Yeah, Jay.
Jay Cody, or Joshua Cody, James, played by James Frecheville, I guess. I don't know how to pronounce that last name.
Sorry if we mispronounced your last name.
Sorry if we mispronounced his name. A young man who is part of the Cody family, which is just a bunch of criminals, basically. From the top down.
Terrible people.
Terrible people. This is from a few years back, but this has been on my list of movies to watch, and I actually like this a lot, but it is a slow burn kind of a movie.
Yeah, it gets very slow at certain points.
This is your first time watching. What'd you think?
I mean, I thought it was an interesting story. There are a lot of parts in it where things happen like very out of the blue almost. Like I wasn't expecting
what happened to Baz.
Yeah, that was just very shocking to me. There were a lot from that point, and then at the very end. Mm-hmm. That when that happens at the very end, that too.
So this was your first time watching that. What'd you think?
I thought it was good. Like you said, it is a bit slow. There are some really shocking moments. Not in that, not visually. As far as visually goes, it's actually pretty tame as far as the violence goes. Mm-hmm. But it's just disturbing. Yeah. That some stuff happens very suddenly and very abrupt, and there's no coming back from it. And that, I would probably say it was very surprising because no one really is safe in the movie.
No, on either side.
Yeah. I kind of, the first guy to go, I was like, oh, he's the star of the movie. Yeah. he seems like the rational guy. He's the leader. He's the guy holding it all together, and it's just sort of like,
bang,
gone.
Yeah.
And who does it too?
Right. And it's funny because I'm glad you mentioned that because I guess, this is from 2010, so it's been a while, but I feel like this is the type of movie that you should go into blindly. I think
definitely. That's why I'm not trying to give away too much information here.
But I'm glad that you brought that point up because I think that if those people hadn't instigated that, none of the other stuff would have happened, right? Because even though they were following the Codys because they were criminals, but they don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there seemed to be sort of like a method of operation where things were progressing, and why that happened, I'm still kind of a little baffled as to who thought that would be the way to go.
Yeah,
especially considering the type of criminals these people were.
Right.
I never got the impression that they were like mass murderers or especially dangerous. They're dangerous.
Yeah,
but
I feel like only when provoked.
Yeah, I didn't get the impression that what they had done up to that point, and I believe as far as police investigations go against them, it was the armed robbery unit or whatever that was hunting them down. I guess they were bank robbers or
right. Well, you see that in the beginning.
Yeah. You see it's like a sort of montage while the credits are going. Yeah. It just seemed kind of, I don't know.
They probably weren't the biggest criminal enterprise in Melbourne.
Yeah. Who knows what? Maybe they were. I don't know what it's like in Australia. That was very shocking.
Yeah.
And then it just keeps going on, and like I said, it's sort of a slow burn, and it's this kid's sort of. He ends up with these people. They are his family. They're his uncles and his grandmother, and he basically ends up with them, and they just take him in, and he is now a part of this machine.
Right.
And he doesn't really seem to be that. It's not like as though this is something that he looks forward to or aspires to or admires in any way. These people are kind of strangers to him.
Right.
He basically just knows the grandmother because he remembers when the grandfather died that the grandmother took care of everything. So he turns to her in his hour of need when his own mother dies. That's like at the very beginning. So it's not really much of a spoiler. That's how he ends up there. Yeah. Apparently the daughter of the grandmother was estranged.
Right.
and she became a heroin addict and OD'd, and now he's all alone. I think he's 18, or he's just about 18,
right?
And he has nowhere else to go, so he turns to them, and they just sort of like, oh, okay, I guess we got to take him in. They don't seem upset about it or loving or caring about it. It's just sort of like, this is what we do. He's part of the family, and now it's just, hey, you know how to steal a car? Go steal a car.
Right. Yeah.
And now he's embroiled in this weird criminality that's going on.
Right. But he doesn't want any part of it.
No, it's not like it's not like as though he's like, yeah, I'm going to be making that money.
Yeah.
He is sort of just going through the motions of life. There's one point where like they all leave and he's just sitting there staring into space.
Yeah.
He seems almost emotionally undetached or emotionally detached from everything.
Yeah. Well, I think the beginning sequence is like such an indicator of who he is as a person. Like he's sitting, like I think you mentioned it after we watch it, like he's sitting there next to his OD'd mom.
Yeah.
Just watching TV with
Watching
like this
Deal or No
vacant
Deal.
look on his face. Like nothing's happening. And when he
even when the paramedics show up, they're like trying to, I guess, resuscitate her, and he sort of like looks over and then he just turns and looks back at the TV.
And when he calls the grandmother, he just
blurts it out.
Right. He's very nonchalant. I mean, it's kind of weird because I'm assuming that the filmmaker was like, basically, I need you to be a robot. Kind of.
Yeah, he was.
I need you to just be a robot.
He was very emotionally detached.
Yeah.
I'm like,
but I mean,
I'm surprised that he formed an attachment to the girl.
Yes. Well, I think so several things. So, just to finish the thought about the beginning sequence, when he reaches out to the grandmother, he obviously is looking for something. But I think because of she was obviously a single parent. There wasn't a father figure in the house. It's just her and him. And because she's a junkie, right? She's an addict.
You're talking about his mother, right?
About his mother, right. Sorry. He probably isn't really well equipped to handle the world at large because he just knows this part of the world. And she made it a point, like he says in the narrative in the beginning, like she made it a point. She was very afraid of her family. She made it a point to keep him away.
Yeah.
From her family because she knew that if he was raised by these guys, he would be no better.
Right.
And I think that, unfortunately, she was battling her own demons for whatever reason, and she couldn't overcome them. So she succumbs to this addiction, and he's now forced to reach out to this family who, like you said, he doesn't really know. And they operate on a very, very different level. It is an animal kingdom. It is survival of the fittest.
Yeah, pretty much. And like you were saying, the incident in the beginning, not the mother's death, but the other one that we talked about.
Yes.
That, I feel like that was sort of, they had sort of like a status quo going on.
Right.
That was being maintained.
Right.
And when that incident happens, it just breaks it. And it just basically becomes chaos, and the element that was being held in check by that guy now returns, and it's just a wreck. Because I don't think like if let's say like the youngest uncle, let's say the youngest uncle, something happened to him as opposed to I'm giving away spoilers. But let's just say like I would say, if that guy had been still there and something bad had happened, he would have held everybody in check, and they wouldn't have done I still don't understand what was the point of that. That was just sort of like blind stupidity rage that made them escalate things to the way they did. But then again, the incident in the beginning,
it comes out of left field.
It really does, because they're just bank robbers, and they weren't robbing banks at the time.
No.
Like, this is during sort of like a lull. A lull where I guess they're supposed to be laying low.
Right. But it also seemed like they had sort of factioned off. Like, the other brother, Craig, is now selling drugs and I guess doing well for himself.
Is Craig the youngest brother or the crazy paranoid brother?
The tattooed one.
Okay.
He was the middle, and Darren's the youngest. and Andrew was the
Darren,
oldest.
that's right. Darren is the youngest. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I felt like Darren was sort of like a puppet. He just went wherever the wind blew. And Andrew, I don't know why he's in hiding, but obviously he's done very bad things. And he seemed like the most psychotic of the brothers.
Yeah. But clearly he didn't do anything bad enough where they would hold him in jail because...
Well, was it because he could get off? Because apparently Ezra was an amazing lawyer.
I guess so. That guy must have just been real because... That was the thing that was another thing that kind of confused me a bit. They were actively looking for him. Mm-hmm. What did you call him? I thought his name was Poe.
They called him Pope.
Oh, Pope.
But his name is Andrew. So it's Andrew, Craig, and Darren.
Okay,
was the youngest. Ezra was the lawyer. Baz was the friend, the family friend.
So yeah, Andrew, yeah, they were actively looking for him. They were like staking out houses
to try to find him.
And find this guy. Yeah. And then when they actually did find him, it was just he was
yeah.
They didn't even there was no interrogation scene with him. They only had an interrogation scene with Jay.
If you remember after the incident, the dramatic incident when they're standing outside of, you see Andrew and then Craig comes and then you see like the car with like the police and they're just, it's like a stare off.
Yeah, I there are certain aspects of this that just don't make much sense to me.
Well, this is, believe it or not, I had read this before and I just confirmed it. This is loosely based on a criminal family in Melbourne at the time that had this kind of situation that basically mirrored this. They had the sons who were then acquitted. There was like their kind of number one guy. Something happens to that guy and that severely impacts the family dynamics. So there's no Joshua in the Melbourne family crime thing, but this was like a nice, interesting little twist, I thought. And it's interesting to see, even though Joshua's played very like even kind of, but it's kind of interesting to see his story arc. And he also is like an animal trying to survive. He tries to make it in the street world, and that doesn't go well for him. And then he tries to come back into the fold.
Yeah.
And the Jackie Weaver character, that scene with the lawyer, I mean, that to me is like one of the most... The first time I saw this film, my mouth was hanging open the whole time.
The one where the lawyer's in the car.
She's talking to the lawyer. Yeah, in the car.
Okay, yeah.
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 With a clear head. With a clear head. She's just giving directives.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the scene with her immediately after with Randall was also just chef's kiss.
Yeah, she is scary in this movie. It's weird.
Yeah, and she does it with a smile.
Pat's mom.
Pat's mom, I know. It's funny.
She's so sweet in that movie, and in this one, she's
cold animal.
She's so almost. It's like almost making the same facial expressions, but it's just now she's just this evil thing.
Yeah. I'm not trying to tell you how to do your job.
Yeah, she's got like this big smile on her face, and her eyes are like very open and bright.
Yeah.
She's terrible.
Terrifying.
She is the worst human being.
Yeah.
I mean, great. Yeah, she was great performance. Everybody did a good job.
Yeah. This is David Michôd's first directorial debut.
What else has he done?
He did The King, the one that we saw.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was a good movie too.
Yeah. I liked how this was filmed. It definitely had a dark color palette. A lot of blues kind of thing. I liked it. I mean, it's not as impressive as other films, but there's like this quality of the film or the cinematography that I really liked. I can't really explain it.
That did not affect me at all. I did not think the cinematography was remarkable in any way.
It was not like sensational.
It was like a step above TV movie stuff. It was very. It got the job done. I didn't think there was like any sort of dramatic lighting or anything.
No, not like that. But I think that the way it's shot and just the angles and this is a very good cinematographer. There were close-ups when they needed to be. There were handout shots when there needed to be. I thought, yeah, it's definitely it's not going to win awards or anything, but I thought that it was crisp, it was clear. It was a little bit more fancy than this type of genre usually commands, as far as I was concerned.
I don't know about that.
What other crime drama movie do you think has better cinematography than this?
I'm not saying better, but I'm saying equal or better.
Okay.
I mean anything.
Like what?
Give me one.
I don't know. You tell me. You're telling me that there's something equal or better than this as far as cinematography in this genre.
I can't think of anything off the top. Well, think of like a cop drama that we've seen. I can't think of any right now.
There's like a ton that just went into my head.
Give me one. Give me one.
I gotta do the work for you
Yeah.
too?
Tell me the name of a cop drama movie.
The Raid.
Better.
You think the
a lot better
is better? I think the story is better.
No. First of all, I don't think Raid is a fair call because it's more of an action
movie, yeah.
And as such, the cinematography to capture that action is stellar, even for action movies. Okay, this is more of a slow burn, guys, a lot of talking heads sort of thing, something like that. Well, what movie would fall into that category?
I was thinking of that movie with Tom Hardy where he's just driving in the car talking on the phone.
Never saw it.
Oh, really?
No.
That's kind of a slow burn movie.
I'm talking about like just a detective story. What detective stories have we watched?
The Batman.
All right, like Knives Out.
Knives Out. There you go.
Way better. Way
That's a different kind of film.
better. Color palette.
That's a different
everything.
kind of film.
It's a detective story.
This isn't a detective story.
Okay, this isn't a detective story. You're right. It's just basically a drama. This is not doing anything special. It's not like as though we have beautiful vistas to look at. It's dry, sunny Melbourne, Australia. There is nothing pretty in any of the scenes to look at. Nothing. Nobody lives in beautiful homes.
The cinematography was good. I was thinking about Collateral, but that's kind of a crime, right? Because he's holding the driver.
Far more beautiful cinematography.
Remember.
It's a Michael Mann movie.
Yeah, I figured it would be up there.
Yeah,
I still think this is really good.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying in my mind, this was just like workmanlike. It got the job done. It wasn't ugly, but it wasn't spectacular in any way. I didn't see any sort of like shadows or mood lighting or anything. It was just very there.
You know what the cinematography here reminded me of? Green Room.
Green Room was way better as far as cinematography goes. The lighting in that, the tense atmosphere. Oh my God, no.
Well, the tension comes from the story, not from the cinematography. Like the vistas on top were really beautiful.
The tension comes from all of it. And it was done very well. When they're freaking out in the green room, there's a lot of close-ups. It's very tense. It's very tight. They're making it claustrophobic with that. There's nothing equatable in this movie.
I disagree.
It's very open. Like I said, I
heard you visibly gasp when the sequence happens in the beginning that sets off the rest of the story.
Yeah, but there's nothing spectacular about it. There is absolutely nothing spectacular about it. And in fact, it's almost, I think the thing that makes it work is the dullness of the framing of the shot. It's just mundane. It is so mundane until...
And then the reaction shot from the person who's observing.
Yeah. It is completely mundane. There's nothing interesting about those shots at all.
I don't know. All right. Well, let's not linger too much on the cinematography. What did you think of the story itself?
The story was interesting. I wish it, like I said, I think the pacing could have been picked up a bit. There were moments where I definitely was feeling the drag of it. But, I mean, the thing that makes it interesting is you're dealing with such, I guess, unpredictable personalities, especially Ben Mendelsohn.
Yeah.
I thought the middle brother would be more of a wild card instigator sort of thing, but it's Ben Mendelsohn. And Ben Mendelsohn, I love Ben Mendelsohn.
He's great. He's great in everything.
Great actor. Seriously, I don't know if I've ever seen him in a dud of anything.
No. I loved Baby Teeth. I know you didn't.
I didn't really care for Baby Teeth, but he was great in it, and he's not playing a menacing character. I mean, I'm used to we're used to seeing him more as the bad guy or the heavy.
Yeah,
he's capable of so much more.
So much more. Yeah,
and in this, he is just. It's like he's
scary.
He's scary in that you
just don't know what's going to come.
You don't know. There's sort of like he'll try and be friendly. He'll call you mate.
Yeah.
Even at the very end, he's like, "Oh, hey, mate."
Yeah.
But you don't know what's behind that, and you feel there is something there that's behind that where you don't mean anything to him.
No.
You are just either something that he could use or discard.
Yeah.
Even family. I honestly don't think he cared at all about any of the other people in that family.
No.
There's that whole thing when the mother visits them in prison. Or in the visitation room. And he doesn't give a shit about his brother. His brother's behind him. Something bad happened. He probably got raped or something. Yeah. And the mother's like, what's wrong with him? What's wrong with him? And he's just like, what about me?
Yeah.
What is going on with me?
Right.
What are you doing to help me?
Yeah.
And then he just leaves.
Yeah.
And the brother's still sitting there.
No, he gets up and he follows Andrew.
Yeah, he follows, but he's sitting there for a minute.
Yeah.
And then he just leaves too. He doesn't care. He does not care.
Yeah.
But when you're around, it's like, oh, hey, Jay will be right back. Come on in.
Yeah.
Oh, this is fun. This is fun. When he says this is fun.
Yeah, that scene was nuts.
Yeah. And then how callously he does what he does next.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's scary.
Yeah.
Ben Mendelsohn's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Even in that scene, oh, this is fun. You could see the fear in Darren's face.
Yeah.
And he's like, stop. And he just doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I think Darren he was still in touch with his feelings of empathy and whatnot. He still viewed people. He
called Josh to tell him.
Yeah. He still viewed people as people.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know about the rest of that family. I don't think so.
No.
The rest of them were just cold.
Craig was also very nuts.
Craig is the middle
one.
I mean, he was just psychotic. Yeah.
And paranoid.
He was super. I think he was just fueled on drugs. He was just constantly on drugs.
Yeah. Like they go out to dinner and he's just doing
You go to dinner. Yeah. It's just, hey. And like Jay's like, I think that was probably the first introduction that Jay's girlfriend has to the family.
Yeah.
And he's just like,
you want some?
Bring him home. And he's shirtless.
Yeah.
Why did he take his shirt off?
I don't know.
And then he's just cutting lines of coke.
He's constantly shirtless. Did he ever? I mean,
when they were in the restaurant, he was wearing a shirt.
Yes, in the restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then he's just cutting lines. Hey, you want some of this?
Yeah.
Like he's he's offering them like grapes.
Yeah, or chips and dip.
Chips, yeah. Anyway, that performances are really good. The story was good. I just feel like it dragged in certain sections where I don't know. Maybe I was just tired, but I found myself getting very bored of it.
What did you think of the Leachy character? Guy Pearce's.
You could see he cared. He was like probably, I'm guessing, the only good cop in
Melbourne.
Melbourne. I mean, there were other good cops. It was just there clearly was a level of corruption there.
The scene in the safe house with Joshua, with that cop, and then this cop.
Yeah.
That's those two sequences too. And it's very subtle and it's very quick, but it's very impactful. And you see that this kid, like, he's going to have to sleep with his eyes open for the rest of his life.
Yeah. Yeah. As far as the relationship between the family and the police, I feel like that is maybe one of the weak parts of the story. It just, I don't know. There's a lot more going on there that I'm not quite grasping, and it doesn't quite click with me.
Well, I think it's hard to do it in a film, right? I think if this was like a TV series, like they did,
they made a TV series,
with the show, you can flesh it out.
Flesh all that out and explain it a little bit better.
But I think because it's a film, it is a long film. It's almost 2 hours. So it's like you have to kind of compact all this stuff and you have to paint this picture of everyone. No one's wasted here. I mean, even like the secondary characters like the lawyer Ezra and the woman who I guess works too. You'd never get introduced to her, but she's just there at the museum. Yeah. And she's like coaching Joshua along before the trial. So it's like, it's just really, to me, it was a really interesting film. I didn't do any kind of deep dive on the real life events, but I'd probably be curious now to read about it and just see like what's different, what's truth and what's not, what's embellished, right? But I think all in all, this held my attention. I was definitely more invested in the story than you were. Again, I'd seen this before, so I knew what was going to happen, but it still didn't take away from my enjoyment of the film. It is a long film, and I don't think that this is the kind of film that's for everyone. But I think that if you like crime dramas, I think if you like any of the actors in this, in particular Ben Mendelsohn, who does a bang-up job. Like, all of them do a great job. Jackie Weaver's amazing in this. Guy Pearce is great. Joel Edgerton is great. Luke Ford, who plays the younger brother, Darren. Sullivan Stapleton, who plays the middle brother, Cody, is great. James Frecheville. I don't know how to say his name. I'm sorry. The kid who plays Joshua Cody. They're all just really, really great. No one's wasted. And I think that, I think they do a really good job putting it all together and just presenting this little kind of segment in time where all these crazy shenanigans happened.
What'd you give it?
I'd give this an 8.
I give this a 6.
Okay. Would you recommend it?
If there's nothing else to watch it. Otherwise, find something a little bit faster paced. Like I said, it's good. It's just there are parts of it that are kind of slow. They could work on the pacing a bit.
All right, fair enough. I still would recommend this. I still give this an 8. I really, really liked it.
I could see, you know what? I could see how they made this into a TV show because there are good bones there to make it into a show, and you could flesh out some of the aspects of the story that to me were wanting.
You know what I just thought of? That other movie by that guy who did Green Room, Blue Ruin.
Blue Ruin, yeah.
This is would you say that this is similar to that in like, because that felt like a slow burn kind of film too.
It did, but I feel like the pacing of Blue Ruin was better.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like the pacing of Blue Ruin.
And I think it's a
was
shorter
better.
film.
Yeah, I think it's a shorter film, but I just feel like that it carried me through the story. I was more invested in that character, Jay or Joshua. I think his emotional detachment to everything made me just not really care about him as much.
Okay.
I gotta be honest, I was more attached to Joel Edgerton.
To Baz?
To Baz.
Yeah.
Like I thought
he was very dynamic.
I
think he ran things, right?
Yeah.
Because he's like, we got to get out. We got to
well,
get
he had like a
anymore.
family. He was
coming from a different vantage point. He was making these choices and decisions that were affecting everybody. He was trying to get people out. I feel that, I would have been more attached if he was more of a focal point. Like I could see him sort of like mentoring Jay or Joshua as Jay or Joshua comes. Well, he does kind of, right? In the bathroom, that bathroom sequence.
Exactly. Exactly. Like that was a good scene.
Right. And it's very telling of who Baz was as a person.
And like that his is an interesting character because he is involved in this.
Right.
And yet he has this other side.
Yeah.
So it's like a multi-dimensional character. I never got that from Jay or Joshua, and I'm guessing he is the main character.
Yeah. Well, he starts off the film, and
he starts off it's basically he's our point of view character into this world. Mm-hmm. It just never his life just never, or his persona just there was just nothing for me to grab onto or be interested in.
Would this story have been better for you if it had been told from the vantage point of a different character? Like, let's say, Darren.
No. His character, Jay, is our entry into the world. Mm-hmm. He's the outsider coming in. Mm-hmm. And he is how he's experiencing this new world here along with us. Mm-hmm. So you have that sort of like commonality. You're able to identify with that. Mm-hmm. So you're going to latch onto that. And you meet these interesting characters, and you meet characters that you think, oh, this character will be good for this. This character is showing some red flags. This character is kind of a joke. They're not really that important. This one up above is kind of creepy. I feel like they got rid of the wrong characters too soon, and without that, it was just sort of like meandering. And I think that's where I find the pacing, because it's sort of like you have Jay or Josh going, and you could see, okay, well, here's some growth that's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And then it just plateaus for a long period of time until like the very end, when he really needs to sort of like, I need to make decisions on my own, or I need to make a decision to move past, or to protect myself, or guarantee myself. Yeah. And even with that, it's like he is just so emotionally detached that it's sort of like, I don't know if he would even really care enough to do something like that. Does he even really want to survive? I don't know. It's just so strange. And I know that the little bit of dialogue between what was his name, Lackey, or the cop,
Leachy,
Leaky, Guy Pearce. He basically says, okay, there's two types of animals. There's the strong animal and there's the weaker animal. And the strong animal either kills the weaker animal or protects the weaker animal for some sort of reason. Mm. And that, I guess, is like the moral or the undercurrent of the story. I don't know if it lived up to that.
What did you think?
I guess it did, but it did so in the sort of the most perfunctory of ways, where it was just sort of like, okay, there you go.
What did you think of Ezra the lawyer?
Interesting character. I maybe would have liked to have seen how he got involved with these people, or why. Like,
I'm sure they pay him.
Yeah, I'm sure they're paying him, but it just seems so strange that
the sequence with him and Darren and Andrew really bothered me, because it was almost like he put that in Andrew's head. You got to watch this kid. Mm-hmm. He's like the weak link.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, he wasn't. Not really. I mean, he played that whole interrogation off well, but because nobody communicated, right? Nobody knew what the other hand was doing. And I think that was the beginning of their problems, because all of a sudden, Andrew's taking guidance from Ezra, which is interesting because Andrew basically does what he wants to do.
Yeah.
So for him to kind of put stock into what Ezra's saying, he didn't even try to get anything from Josh.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's an interesting character, but overall, I don't know. It just dragged a little too much.
All right, fair enough. All right, so I think it's a must-watch. You will probably pass.
Yeah.
So I guess take that for what it's worth. We don't always agree, but
yeah, I
say still check it out. It's playing on Max. Once again, Animal Kingdom from writer-director David Michôd from 2010, rated R for, I guess, language, violence.
Language and violent situations.
And drug usage. I think that's a thing, right?
Yeah, they're using drugs.
1 hour and 53 minutes. This is based on an actual crime family from Australia, who I think also was involved with killing cops, but I think they were also acquitted. Yeah. Don't do the crime if you can't pay the time.
All right.
What's the lesson here?
I have no idea. Kill or be killed.
Kill or be killed.
Survival of the fittest. There you go.
There you go. Kingdom. I mean, that totally makes sense, and sort of like what you were saying before about like the strong animals and the weaker animals, right? There
is no other reason for that conversation to be in the movie other than to make it fit with the title of the movie and give a little bit of a foreshadowing, I guess.
Having said that, and this is obviously just hearsay because this is not anything part of the story, but do you think that the crime family continues without mentioning any names?
I gotta be honest, I don't know what's gonna happen after that ending. Maybe, because I got to be honest, I don't think the mother really, like I said, everybody's just a tool to be used. Mm-hmm. And if anything, it's like, all right, well, now you've done this. It's like, what's going to happen? You either go to jail or you do what we ask you to do. Or
right.
I honestly, I don't know. And I got to be honest, as crime families go,
They weren't the sharpest.
Not only were they the sharpest, but it's not like as though they were living in some sort of opulent Tony Montana
powerful,
sort of lifestyle where they had goons and stuff like that.
Right. They were self-contained.
It was just them. And it was like, why? That was like another issue that I had. It was like, why
did the cops want these particular
people?
people?
Why is it so hard to get these guys? What is going on? There's no explanation, really. It's not like as though, they're part of the cartel.
Yeah.
It's 3 dudes and their mom. Oh, and the other guy, too. And they robbed some banks.
And that seemed like it was in the past because Craig had started his own drug line business.
Yeah. And
Darren was just around for the ride.
I just didn't.
Andrew must have done something because he's in hiding at the beginning, but then he just comes out.
It's like I must have missed something, or either that, or they didn't tell me or explain it. And if that's the case, that's just bad storytelling.
Well, again, like I said, I think the shortcoming here is that you can't elaborate on certain things. But I think also,
I feel like they had enough time where they could have elaborated on certain things or explained certain things. I mean, I understand you don't want to fall into the whole, oh my God, it's just endless exposition. But this isn't that complicated. And even with that, you could have explained some of what's going on as to why these guys are so difficult to apprehend or bring to justice or anything. Why are they being surveilled? Why is this guy in hiding? Why is he not in hiding anymore? Okay, he's in custody. Why isn't he not in prison? If you were surveilling somebody to stake someone out to capture them, to arrest them, and then you actually arrest them, but for something completely unrelated, because they were looking for him before the big bad thing happens, what the hell were you looking for him for? Did you just want to give him $10 back that you owed him? Or like what? What was going on? And there's no explanation. There's nothing.
See, I feel like I was invested enough in the story that those questions didn't bother me. I could see why they would bother another viewer, but
it's a crime drama. There has to be a crime. And the initial crime clearly didn't matter enough because they arrested him and then they just, for something unrelated. And then the first crime was just like, oh, don't worry about it. Yeah, forget about it. Whatever. All right. You know what? The more I'm thinking about it, I'm going to give it a 5 now.
What?
Yeah, because the more I think about it, the more aggravated I'm becoming by this movie.
Why are you aggravated?
Because I'm thinking about it more and I'm finding more and more flaws in it.
You're ridiculous.
Good performances, but I'll be honest, no, the story is not good. I changed my mind. I thought about it, and now I'm finding all the flaws, and it's just like,
so question for you. No, wait. Question for you. Why is it that having everything filled in here bothers you, but in something like Talk to Me, it doesn't bother you?
Because it's a supernatural story. I don't need to know the full reasoning behind the supernatural story. In fact, most of the times when they do that, like in a sequel or a prequel, it ends up sucking. I would rather, in a supernatural story, you rely on your imagination to fill in the gaps. In a real horror, dread story, it's your imagination that's killing you. That's like, what's happening? Hereditary relied on that. Talk to Me relied on that. That's scary. Mm-hmm. Your own mind. When you're reading a story, like in a book, and they're relying upon you to fill in the gaps, that's great. They'll give you just enough of a hint. Alien. They just show you little pieces of the alien. You don't know what the hell's going on. Mm-hmm. Stuff like that's good. A crime drama, no. There's no there shouldn't be anything ambiguous about the crime drama. It should be A did this, B wants to make him pay for doing that. Mm-hmm. A doesn't want to pay, conflict. I need to know why. And this movie, the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm realizing they dropped the ball on so many things.
I don't think so.
That now I'm just
the beginning sequence tells you that this is why they were being surveilled by the police, because they were bank robbers.
Right. And that makes sense. And then they just drop it.
Yes, because now the focal point of the story is Josh and how he gets introduced into this
I'm not
family.
talking about that. It doesn't make sense. that they are hunting this guy. This family is protecting Andrew, right?
Yeah.
They're protecting Ben Mendelsohn, hiding him out in a hotel, telling the cops that are staking out their houses, oh, he's not around, you're never going to get him, blah, blah, blah. And then suddenly it's like, all right, I'm out in the open, no explanation as to why. Oh, we're arresting you, not for the crime that they were looking for him for. And then just let him go.
Because the case fell apart, because
the case about the big terrible thing that happens in the movie, not what they were staking him out for.
No. I think he got arrested because after what happened, where Josh discovers something bad has happened, right? He then goes to try to protect the rest of the family.
No. You're not understanding. They were all brought in
after that.
No, stop. They were all brought in to the police station to be interrogated.
Right.
They never show Andrew's interrogation
or
Darren's interrogation or the drug addict guy's interrogation.
Well,
or actually, he never went.
Yeah.
They were looking for Andrew to arrest him. Why wasn't he arrested when they brought him in to be interrogated?
Because they didn't have anything on him.
Then why were they staking him out? Why were they hunting him? They weren't hunting him for the crime that they brought him in for.
No, because this
or
is
actually,
before.
Yeah, they were hunting him for something else.
Right.
What happened to that other crime? Why did they just drop it? He must have done something worse than the rest of them, because all of them are involved in these bank robberies. Mm-hmm. They're obviously suspects because they're staking them out. But Andrew was the only one that needed to actually physically go into hiding.
Right.
So he must have done something worse. Something that they had actual evidence of him doing.
Or something bad enough that it could be tied to him, and if he laid low long enough, it would blow over.
Regardless, it's a plot hole that it should not be in a crime drama. If
it seemed
they shouldn't have they shouldn't have had that in the story at all.
But then it also seemed to be that, kind of like you said, they weren't the Corleones, right? They were just some low-level crime family that operated on a very basic level. I mean, even that other lawyer at in the museum section where she's talking to Josh to coach him, she's like, you're the star witness, but we're going just on the evidence, and the evidence is just, it's nothing. The
case that Josh was the star witness of had nothing to do with what they were staking out Ben Mendelsohn's character
but
for.
that's what I'm saying. They were that kind of criminal. They weren't like the Corleones. They didn't have this vast criminal empire. They were like
that makes it even more unbelievable.
What makes it more unbelievable?
If they had a vast criminal empire, then yeah.
They didn't, is what I'm saying.
I understand that. I said if they had a vast criminal empire, it would make sense for the police to look the other way about past crimes. They don't. When they arrested Andrew, he should have been put in jail.
For what?
They never explain. They just say, "Oh, well, you're never going to find him. He's hiding in a motel. He's in hiding for something worse than what everybody else did prior to Josh even showing up in the story."
But I don't think it was worse then. I think he probably did something that blew over, and that's why even when Baz is talking to the policeman,
the police don't waste resources staking out a bunch of people's houses for another person if it's just like, there's a blowover.
Well, the other thing that I also want to call your attention to is the scene in the fish aquarium place when Craig is talking to Russell, where Russell basically tells him, just lay low and this will all be over soon because they're shutting that section down. So when the big oh my God moment happens, it's because, in my mind, the people that were involved on the law enforcement side were frustrated, right? So they do a thing, unsanctioned, obviously, that then has ripple effects because that act propels Andrew to now retaliate in a spectacular manner. So then...
it just, I'm sorry. The story just doesn't hold up for me.
All right.
At 5. I lowered my score to 5.
Terrible.
I'm done talking about this.
You're wrong,
it
though.
doesn't make... You could say I'm wrong. I think I'm right.
You think you're right, but you're incorrect.
No. Great performances, but the story is not good. 5. Average movie.
It's a better than average film. I highly recommend
the
this film.
The only thing preventing it from being a bad movie is the performances. There.
The performances were great from everybody, even Crazy Josh with his
I feel like his character could have grown into something more interesting if the story was better. I think whoever wrote the story did not plan that out very well.
I disagree, but okay. Agree to disagree.
Agree to disagree.
There we go. All right, so little tension here in the house now because you are incorrect and refuse to see that you're incorrect. But if you want to see a great film, all right, maybe not great, a good film. A good film. This is not The Raid.
No,
this is not Talk
The
to
Raid.
Me.
No.
This is not Hereditary.
Okay. I'm not gonna. Just end the podcast. Say good night.
We're gonna keep talking about it
say good night
because I love seeing the smoke coming out of your ears.
I'm done. It's not a good movie, but it's the performances push it up to a 5.
Terrible.
If the performances sucked, I would give it a 4 or less.
Terrible.
Yeah.
I'm not speaking to you for the rest of the day.
All right.
And that's it from us, and we will bid you all a
good night.
Good night.